Grace Rogers, begin.
Okay. On their interpretation, person meet the alternative just rejects the securitization of the affirmative plan as sole policy option, and counter-interpretation, the negative gets to test the affirmative's representations. 1, fairness, the representations are intrinsic to the act. 2, predictability, the act gets to pick the representations the plan has. And 3, education, we offer a different mindset than policy thinking, which proves that the negative otherwise us just like the Chinese people they show later. And overview. First, magnitude. The wars the plan cause takes place in space and on Earth. 2, probability. The process of securitization is ongoing right now. And 3, doing the plan without discourse solves case. We can do the case without the justifications they have. And that's the Grounded and 6 from the 1 and C. And the aft space colonization advantage only tries to protect the resources on the moon. And that just furthers the link. And the aft can't solve for warming because they follow this attitude. And even if they get to the moon, there will be war because of the securitization. That's the McDonald's and 7 from the 1 and C. And the floating pixels, both of these. Moving on, 8, the U.S. moon base will be used as a gatekeeper to ensure other nations cannot gain access to outer space or helium-3. The moon becomes the new Persian Gulf. Helium-3 as the natural resource in U.S. hegemony is spread into outer space through the establishment of a moon base from Gagon in 6. There's long been a military connection to NASA's moon mission. The NASA plan to establish permanent bases on the moon will help the military control and dominate access on and off our planet Earth and determine who will extract valuable resources from the moon in the years ahead. A U.S. Army study for the establishment of a lunar outpost published on June 9, 1959. The military maintained that the lunar outpost is required to develop and protect potential United States interests on the moon, to develop techniques of moon-based surveillance of the Earth in space and communications relay, and in operations on the surface of the moon to serve as a base for exploration of the moon. Any military operations on the moon will be difficult to counter by the enemy because of the difficulty of his reaching the moon if our forces are already present and have means of countering a landing or neutralizing any hostile forces that have landed. Whoever holds the moon militarily will control the Earth moon gravity well, and thus will essentially control the front gate to the moon. In the end, the NASA plan to establish permanent bases on the moon will help the military control and dominate access on and off our planet Earth and determine who will extract valuable resources from the moon in the years ahead. This just proves that the plan links into the security and shows how they otherize other people by trying to build this lunar base. And their evolutionary biology argument has 2 flaws. 1, that no leaders ever tried to reject the security discourse that causes our impacts, like their evidence says. And 2, that their card that they read assumes international relations that the plan doesn't cause. And on their perm do both. You can't do the perm and reject the plan at the same time. That doesn't even make sense. And they say that threats are real, but the deterrence of space domination is false security. The race for the newest space weapon or unconquered sector becomes ontology. The nation is defined by its self-propelling drive to seek ever new weapons and threats, amplifying conflict and rendering it inevitable, from Masumi and 7. Preemption remains the official military strategy of the United States. Preemption is an operative logic of power defining a political age, one that combines an ontology with an epistemology in such a way as to trace itself out as a self-propelling tendency. Preemption is not prevention, although the goal of both is to neutralize threat. They fundamentally differ. Epistemologically, prevention assumes an ability to assess threats empirically and identify their causes. Once the causes are identified, appropriate curative methods are thought. Prevention operates in an objectively knowable world in which uncertainty is a function of a lack of information, in which events are in a predictable linear course from cause to effect. This is very different from the epistemological premise of preemption. And their severance perm is bad because 1, it makes them a moving target. We can never generate stable offense if they can just sever out of our links. And 2, the perm severs the function of the plan is to militarize space against the dirty Chinese. They cannot take back what they've said. It destroys negative strategy and pre-round prep in particular. This cares fairness and education and ruins debate. It's a reason to reject the team. And we also are not a critique of international relations. It's a case of how we engage space, and their evidence assumes a critique of engagement on Earth. The 1 and C McDonald evidence indicates this space is uniquely different in that it is governed by a treaty, not subject to borders to define international engagement of the status quo, and space has no geography. It has been constructed through discourse around exploration from McDonald and 7. 5 centuries ago, a more expansive geographical imagination was at work tracing the intellectual building blocks of geographical knowledge in the 16th century. Writings on astrology were clearly part of geography's early modern heritage. The movements of the stars being afforded significance in the outcome of worldly affairs. The planetary scale formed the background to much geographical teaching in this period, and mapping the heavens was a task of no little importance and endeavor, which has continued to the present day, and cut it there. And then the alt solves the reasons why realism is inevitable in space. We just reject the idea that realism extended to space, getting rid of it. That's the 1 and C McDonald evidence. They can't win offense. Their transition wars argument assumes a world of earthly realism. And on the alt solvency debate, the plan can spill over. By rejecting the security discourse in America, others may reject it too.
Good.